the nation's favourite sporting hero, the world heavyweight champion, Frank Bruno. Wild suit, Frank.
Cheers. Nice tie as well.
Wild suit,
Cheers,
nice tie.
My Christopher Eubank suit.
Pardon?
My Christopher Eubank suit.
It's just your Christopher Eubank.
Eubank suit, yeah.
Oh, you do what? No, I haven't seen you since the Royal Variety Show.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
you loved
nice
that.
Show. Yeah, I did love it.
He
It was
came
nice.
on, he had a twinkle in his eye, you loved it.
You gave me a twinkle as well. I nearly messed up the lines, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You didn't mess up your line.
I nearly did. You nearly caught me off the hook. You know, you was joking around with me when I was nearly peeking. I was keeping to the script and you was adding some...
Bits and pieces.
Yeah,
do you remember what you said?
I think I do remember.
was
What's
an
6 foot... I say. Was 6'4", 17 stone and covered in blue and white stripes.
And I say, I don't know what 6'4", 17 stone and covered in blue and white stripes.
You haven't seen me in my pyjamas, have you? Right.
Well, it's lovely to see you, Frank. It really is. And, of
Des.
course, not only have you become world champion, which we'll talk about in a minute, but you become a dad again.
Yeah, the Black & Decker's been working, you know. The tools. Yeah, I've got a lovely son, Des, you know. He's about 7.5 months, and he's about...
What did he weigh in at?
He weighed in about 17... No, not 17. I'm going back to the script now. He weighed in about 7 pounds.
7 pounds?
Yeah.
That's lovely. Are you a today man, like the new man? Are you a dad? Do you do all the stuff? Can you change nappies?
I can change nappies, but once I changed his nappy and he peed in my ear hole. So I'm retired from sort of like changing nappies, Des, and I just stick to making them, you know, much more easier. The babies, that is.
Yes, that's right. But you and I always get the giggles when we're together, don't we?
You can say that again.
Let's talk boxing just for a second.
You talk what you want, Des. Relax. It's your show, mate. Relax.
All right, I'm relaxed, Frank. Let me put it this way. When you're in the ring with a big man, a heavyweight man, like 16, 17, and he smacks one right on your nose,
yeah.
It sounds dark. How much does it really hurt? I mean, does it go right down to your ankles? Where does it go?
No, if it hurts, punch on your nose, it's going to hurt your nose, isn't it? If it kicks you in your ankle, it'll hurt. You know what I mean? No, it does hurt, but sometimes your adrenaline's so high up, so high, and you're so keyed up and you want the fight so bad, sometimes it doesn't hurt. But afterwards, after everything, the emotional and the atmosphere and everything's cooled down, it does start to hurt very, very badly.
Yeah. Let's talk about the fight that you won the championship, Oliver McCall. And I'm not trying to be clever here. How much do you remember of that last 30 seconds? You know, the nation, we were all praying, well, stay there, Frank. Yeah. You'd done all the hard work. You'd almost punched yourself out. You'd really gone for it. And that last 30 seconds, do you remember much about it? Very,
very much about it, because there's a guy coming at me trying to punch my head off. You know? So I remember quite a lot.
Yeah, but I mean... What I'm trying to make is, you might be a bit... Could you see what's coming? Is it just instinct?
Oh, yeah, I could see what... I was ducking and diving, grabbing hold of his toe, his leg, his protector, him, everything, you know, trying to duck and dive and stay in there, because before I used to let him get to me and, you know what I mean, the referee would come in and stop the fight, so I had to duck and dive all over the place, and I do remember it very well.
You did it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been... Because you showed a lot of bravery, well, you always do, but have you ever been frightened in a fight? I mean, like scared, or maybe psychologically frightened, before or during a fight? I
was not frightened, but you're frightened of, like, that was my third try at the world title, you know what I mean? And, like, if you lose, I didn't know where else to go, you know? And a lot of people had a lot of faith in me and believed in me, and I believed in myself. I dedicated myself for so many years, and I tried and getting so near. So I was scared of losing, because I wouldn't have come on your show again. I wouldn't have done a lot of other things, so it was nice. I was nowhere to go. When you're 34, it's a bit dodgy of, you know what I mean, like going for a world title in the 4th time, so I had to really dig in deep there, so I was scared.
On a day-to-day basis, Frank, just Not boxing. Anything scare you? Are you scared of spiders?
I'm scared of the wife. No. I'm scared of mice and rats, and if someone came up to me with a gun or a Rottweiler or a pit bull terrier, I'd be scared of that. Sensible things, you know what I mean? Like, you know, if a nutter come at you, like, with something and he wants to mug you or something like that.
Well, they're not going to mug you, are they?
No.
He'd be a real mug, that one.
If
He's a
someone's
mugger.
got a gun or gets you in a funny situation, them things scare me. Natural things, but my job, my profession, when I go into the ring, I'm not scared at all. I'm nervous, a little bit of butterflies here and there.
You want to do the best for yourself.
Yeah, very
in
much so.
cricket and some of the other, they have what they call sledging, which is, you know, you're
Sledging.
winding the other fella up, you're saying
Yeah.
things. I mean, did anybody ever try? Anybody said, "Yeah, you're big Jesse" or something?
Yeah, sometimes Oliver McCall wound me up in the way.
What was
you
he
know.
saying?
He
Oh, in
was
the
saying-
weighing room.
No, at a press conference and that.
But what about the fight?
The fight.
They whisper in your ear or this?
Sometimes I can whisper in the ear, call you a puff or a pansy or something like that. You know, I mean, just to try and wind you up. I'm not gay, by the way. You
Well,
know
no.
what I mean? I know a man who is. Sorry.
Frank, you're lovely. Watch out for the pink suit, though.
Right, yeah. No, my Christopher suit.
You're never going to get any trouble, Frank.
Yeah,
I promise you
cheers.
that. What makes you? Do you ever lose your temper? I suppose somewhere along the line you've got to get angry. What do you get angry about?
Sometimes if you're in the car and someone cuts you up, I don't know, lose your temper, you get a little bit, you start saying some sort of like rapping noises, like swearing words, but sometimes I believe life, you've got to be a human being, just be humble, and if someone upsets you, you're going to get upset, just like anybody else, but I think it's best to be trying to be happy and go along.
You've never been caught in like a rumble or a fight outside of profession. I think actually that's illegal for you to do it. Is it? Are these qualified as lethal weapons, aren't they?
Not really. Once I was out, I went to a restaurant and someone came behind me and grabbed my Black & Decker, and I'm not joking. Seriously, they ain't no joker, they ain't no hype, and they grabbed me from behind. But it was a funny situation to be in, and that was the truth. Someone came behind and he thought that was funny. I weren't laughing, I was screaming, you know?
Shouldn't think you'd ever try that again.
Right.
The fight with Tyson, when's that, March?
On March the 16th, there's, yeah.
Big day.
Very, very big day. I'm
We'll all
looking
be-
very forward to that, you know what I mean? Because the first time when I fought him, I weren't right mentally or physically, but this time I'm 110%.
Well, you went for him, you didn't back off. And even though you described him as, what do you say, it was like looking at King Kong, the most frightening man.
No, I think the press done that. That's the
didn't say
Sunday
it?
Sport or that. You know what I mean? One of them papers said it just to try and make it look interesting. I weren't King Kong. He was just a human being. He's a short human being, but he's just a human being.
Why do you have to go away? Why do you have to go away when you're going to do a big fight like this? Why do you have to go away to a camp? Why can't you just go home every night?
The thing is to go into camp, you know, like me and George and Keith and Roop and my brother, we go to the camp because to concentrate, dedicate yourself, keep away from sex, chasing the wife around the bedroom. I know we're talking about sex a lot tonight, but and keep away from the babies and keep yourself hungry and focused on what you've got to do, because boxing is a very, very serious game. You can mess around in pantomime and on shows and that, but when you go in the ring, believe me, this is a very serious business, you know, so you've got to go away to dedicate yourself and get hungry and just get, you know what I mean, just live right, you know.
But will the
focus on
family
job.
just maybe just come over for the fight, or will they watch it on TV?
My wife will come over for the fight, you know what I mean?
And your mum?
My mum will probably, she usually stays in the toilet, so it's best, she likes to stay at home now, you know what I mean, and pray for me when she's at home, you know. There's,
If you win, and we
when
you
always
win,
try and be
sorry,
positive
Frank,
now,
sorry,
you know.
Frank.
When
you win,
right, there's,
is that going to be it?
I couldn't really say this. If I said that was it, you wouldn't invite me on your show again.
Oh, yes,
so
well, you'll always be welcome.
I'll give you some crumbs now and then, save a little bit for when I get on the show, you know what I mean? I always,
Oh, you're crafty.
always take one fight at a time, you know what I mean? Always take one fight at a time.
What's this about you? What's this about you got a record out now? A video?
Yeah, I have the tiger.
You want to be a singer?
I would love to be a singer, Des, you know what I mean? I wouldn't mind after I finish from boxing. At the moment, my voice is scaring people out of the pubs.
Well, Frank, the last time you came on the show, you
Right.
said you would come back with the World Championship, and you did.
Yep.
This is the belt.
Thank you very much, Des. Yeah. Thank you.
It's big, isn't it?
Very, very big. It's for a big boy, Des.
Wonderful.
Cheers.
Taking with you.
Thank you. 98 years since...
When you beat Tyson, will you come back again?
Very, very much so, Des.
Well, we're all on your side.
Cheers.
Frank
Thank you.
Bruno, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.